In association with Official Wrestling comes A Few Good Marks podcast. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first show of A Few Good Marks of 2018. Happy New Year to you all. We hope you had a very good New Year's Eve, and your hangover isn't still with you.
For 5 days.
Yeah.
That hemorrhage,
Yeah. If it's I've done that gag.
See a doctor.
Yeah,
all
right.
that good stuff.
It's not that's not
paracetamol.
a hangover. It's a migraine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What's that sound?
for our first fuck's sake. For our first episode of the new year, we're going to try something different. This is our first ever Bring It to the Table podcast. For this, we've each gone away and we've thought of a discussion topic or a question, and nobody else around knows the question. So we've come totally unprepared. I should also mention I'm your host Kieran. I'm joined by Crawford, Pete, and Candy.
Hi.
Yeah, I kind of realised this halfway through that. It's just like we've prepared. Who's we? Two of us aren't here. Should probably do that. So unfortunately, the other two aren't here to give their questions or opinions. They haven't sent them over either, so we can't even.
Who are the other two, Keith?
Willow and Alex.
For all you new joiners
For
in
you
2018.
who thought, you know what, it's a new year, I'm going to listen to a new podcast, and you picked the right one, maybe. So I'm going to start off.
Well, to pull us over.
No, you've done. I commend you on your choice.
So
of
you've
podcast.
chosen the right podcast, but if you don't like it, Edge and Christian have got one.
I commend you on your choice of podcast, i.e. us. I'm going to go first, because mine's much more. It's very much a one answer thing. It's not much of a discussion.
Do
topic.
you like wrestling?
My question is,
Did you ever eat and game these?
what? We're still going on about this. It's 2018, Liam.
Start of January. This isn't going to be relevant.
It will.
So my question is, what is the one of maybe many legendary match that you have never seen?
Ooh.
Lots of the one match that everyone you'll be around a group of friends and they'll all be talking about one particular match, and you'll be like sat there like nodding your head, just
Okay,
like yeah.
I know this one.
I've got one as well.
Okay, I'm gonna throw to Croft first.
Shawn Michaels v Razor Ramon.
What? The ladder match?
Never seen it.
No way. Have you never seen the ladder match?
Wow.
The match that all of the ladder matches
Yeah.
tried to look.
Yeah.
Wow, fair play, man.
And I consider myself a fan of ladder matches. I've never seen it.
Ooh, wow, interesting.
Check it out. It's a good match.
Yeah,
Will do.
yeah, Pete.
Austin The Rock WrestleMania 17.
What? Oh, we might as well just end the podcast. You might as well leave. Oh my god.
What? I've never seen it.
I'd have thought you of all people would have seen that
You've
match.
never got to the finish.
I've seen the finish. I'm just like,
Oh, you've not seen everything before.
That's fair.
Oh my god.
Looks like
I've known you for
gotta go home.
I've known you for 14 years, and I can't believe I didn't know that of you. Oh my Christ. Bloody
We're
hell.
learning a lot on this podcast.
We're only 2 answers in. Candy.
Well, yeah, here's the thing though. Because I've seen a lot of matches. Because last year, during second year of uni, I didn't have much to do. So I watched every single... WWE did a list of the 100 greatest matches of all time.
Oh, okay.
So I just sat and watched all 100.
Okay.
So I've seen a lot of matches. I can't think of anything that...
That you haven't seen.
No,
Can I tell you mine?
Yeah,
Steamboat Savage, WrestleMania 3.
that's a big one.
No, that is a big one.
To
I would
be
go back
fair,
and watch
I
that.
hadn't seen that until this year or last, to be fair.
Yeah, I think if Willow was here, I'd be getting a lot more shit right now.
Honestly, it's a really good match.
I have absolutely no doubt it is.
Even from it, because I'm very much a modern wrestling fan. I like modern wrestling. And WrestleMania 3 was a long time ago.
It sure was.
And it even holds up today by modern standards.
Fair play.
Fantastic.
That's been that match is talked about so much. I've seen it a couple times. It's not one of my favourite matches, but just talked about so much. Every time it's like, oh, I should probably go back and watch that match again. I like Randy Savage.
So you genuinely got no match.
Can't think of it. If
Can't
I think of one during the podcast, I'll.
Fair enough. Gents,
I've never seen
so-
I've never seen Booker T versus Triple H from WrestleMania 19.
I mean, it's a legendary
Oh, really?
match.
No,
It's a legendary match, to be fair, for all the wrong reasons.
for the wrong
Yeah, for all
reasons.
the wrong reasons.
40 odd seconds.
Mental.
I've never seen a match with Paige. Never seen a Paige.
Really,
match.
you've never seen a Paige match?
No, because I stopped watching when she came in, like not because of her, and then I started watching again, and she was off somewhere else.
Yeah.
And she might have a pay-per-view match soon. I probably won't watch it.
Just on principle. Never watching a Paige
Yeah.
match.
Oh, Women's Royal Rumble Paige enters no.
Ah, yeah. Damn, gonna have to turn that one off when she comes out.
What, so you're gonna make us turn off the projector?
No,
are you?
I'll turn me back, and once she's eliminated, and I can turn back around.
This is all in jest.
Give her X
Do you actually
Packy.
like Paige?
Actually, yeah.
Packy.
My favourite
So
kind
yeah,
of
so guys, who wants to go next?
I don't mind, I can throw mine in.
Go ahead, Croft.
Okay, my question is,
Okay then.
what's your opinion on how WWE has handled international talent in the new era? And can you see many international WWE champions in the near future?
Oh,
Are we classing Canada as international, or
See, I kind of see North
clumping
America
them into North America?
as,
That's fine.
You know, because we've had Canadian champions
Yeah.
before, and
because I know
really
your man
recently
instantly went to
Jinder-
Kenny Omega, though, didn't it?
No, I went to Jericho, but then I went to
Yeah,
Bret
right.
Hart.
and also
Also,
Jinder Mahal recently.
Also, when's Kenny Omega been in WWE?
No, he's not, but he said future.
In the near future,
Oh,
you
right,
see
okay.
international one.
No,
I'm
I
kind of talking outside of North
That's
America.
fine. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of it in WWE at the moment. There's the Bar, there's Finn Balor, there's Becky Lynch, there's Paige,
Nakamura.
Nakamura, scrambling the brain, Neville, if he's still there,
But
Jack
apart from-
Gallagher, the lads on
All the lads from the UK.
The
all the
lads.
lads from the UK,
The
the
lads.
boys.
Asuka.
Asuka, the iconic duo,
Kairi Sane.
Kairi Sane. There's a,
NXT's full of it.
yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah,
point
but you
is we've
list
got a lot in there.
all those names, but apart from Sheamus, who's really been given a run at the top.
Well, I mean, Finn Balor
I'm not classing
at the
Jinder.
worst. Finn Balor at the worst possible time was
Yeah,
about to
yeah.
have everything given to him on a plate, and has failed to recapture his momentum. So Finn's up there on the top level with Sheamus, I would imagine.
Mhm.
I
My key question here is how do you reckon they've handled them? So, I mean, it ties very much into what Candy said about, who's had a run at the top. Because if you look,
Yeah,
they haven't really. Sheamus has.
but they've always been. I mean, Vince McMahon is very is so
Stupid.
patriotic. Apart from that, is so patriotic. So it's hard for any outsider to. Any international talent to get a proper run with it unless they happen to be 6 foot fucking 11 or whatever Sheamus is. He's not 11, is
Or
he?
Giant Gonzalez from
He's
Argentina.
not.
He's not
6'11".
6'11. He's 6'7".
He's like 6'4", 6'5".
Well, even Carly should never have been going to run at the top.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
7 foot
Point
tall.
I'm making is unless they're fucking huge,
Yeah.
they're not really going to get looked at by Vince. Hence Balor
And Cesaro. I mean,
and Cesaro,
I think
especially Cesaro. Oh my
he's
god!
often listed as one of the most underrated superstars. Not saying that's because he's Swiss, but it
No.
might be in the back of his mind that
Might be
well,
because
this guy
he's-
is an American. He's not going to connect with American fans, so we're not going to give him a big push.
And it's not even that he's not tall, because he's about 6'4", Cesaro.
But even
And built
Nakamura,
as well, built.
Nakamura's tall.
Yeah, he's skinny though, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but he's still tall.
And he's Japanese, which is another thing. About
You've brought this
bi-
up a couple of times.
Yeah, about the buy. No, I'm talking about the bias of international talent. Like, Nakamura is massively over with the crowd. Promos aren't his strength, as we've seen before.
Yeah, well,
But
there are
he
ways
doesn't
around
speak
that.
English
Exactly.
as a first language.
Kane won the WWE title having never spoken on the
Said a
mic, as far
word.
as I'm aware.
Yep.
Or if he did, it was only through the lols
I
thing.
think it was that.
Suck it! That one.
No, that was after.
That was afterwards.
I mean, Carl won the World Heavyweight title having spoken like he's got a mouthful of marbles. You didn't know if Carl was speaking English or still Punjab. Like, it was shocking. So the fact that,
Yeah.
Nakamura can speak some English.
Yeah. I don't know. I think because WWE is an American brand, an American company, it will always primarily be that until they truly accept themselves as the world wrestling entertainment.
But I think with
Which
Vince's...
they're not at the moment. They're really not. But and which is a shame because I think they have so much potential. Like I was watching, John Cena was doing an interview for Ferdinand, but he was getting a lot of the wrestling questions. I think it was The Guardian who were in.
Yeah, because no one wants to hear anything about Ferdinand.
I know. Well,
What's
exactly.
your favourite type of bull?
And he was talking about and he was saying how WWE, because of it going to PG, has now opened itself up to a much wider audience. And he's right. They've just done a big show in the United Arab Emirates. They've done a big show they've done the India tour. They're getting a lot bigger in like Australia and stuff now. and it just seems to be that, but they've still got this American mentality.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with doing the tribute to the troops thing. There's, they're an American company and they're supporting a great cause. Fair play to them. But at the same time, there's no reason why they can't then branch out into other. I'm not saying support all the military services go to help for the heroes in the UK or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
and there's also going to be some conflict if you're doing it for America and then go, well, let's support Syria as well.
Well, not like that. But I mean, they could be doing more. There's no reason why the WB can't get more involved in charities in Australia, in charities in England. If that's the kind of especially I mean, this is a whole nother kettle of fish with WB and charities because they do it to for marketing purposes.
Stephanie McMahon has come out and said
exactly when she posts everything since that they've done that, especially when they had Dana Warrior as the spokesperson for the Susan G. Komen thing last year, and having her tweet what she tweeted about Bobby Heenan. I'm not going to repeat it because it's sick. What she tweeted about Bobby Heenan, and then to have her as the spokeswoman for thingy, it's probably could have picked someone better there, couldn't you?
Yeah,
but you just want the message of the warrior in there, don't you? You don't really care about anything
Didn't
else.
Steph put out a tweet as philanthropy is the key,
This is what we're
key
talking
to
about.
business?
Yeah.
And it's well, that shows that you're not doing it because you want to do it. It's because you can
make money off it.
You can put that out oh yeah, we're helping all these charities, and it improves your business
Absolutely.
look.
I think the word in the tweet was philanthropy, philanthropy is the future of marketing.
Yeah, something like
she
that.
was literally saying we're getting in now because we see it's the future and we want to be the front runners for it.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, not because they want to raise money for a good cause.
No, it's yeah. And ever since she tweeted that, I think it's
been very clear, hasn't it?
it has.
I think
It's been off topic from
I think
the
we
international
talked about
topic.
international
To
talent.
round that off,
Okay, go on.
rather than drag it on and talk about it for a long time, if you were going to pick the nationality of the next non-North American WWE champion, which country would you say they were probably going to?
WWE or Universal?
Any world title.
Just thinking about who's closer at the moment.
Not so much who's
Yeah,
close.
just gonna be Jinder again in a few weeks.
No, I either Nakamura or Balor.
Think?
Yeah.
I can see them giving Nakamura a run. Even if it's not a long one, I can see them giving the title at some point.
Are we saying specific people or where they're from?
Where they're from.
Oh, where they're from?
yeah,
Oh, well, in
what
which case
nationality?
either Ireland or Japan.
No, Japan.
I don't think it's happening anytime soon. WrestleMania maybe at the earliest, possibly. But yeah, I'm saying either UK or Japan.
Yeah, I reckon so. I reckon one of the UK guys is going to come up in the next couple of years.
Probably be done, wouldn't it?
I think with the international thing, Vince still has an old school. He's an old school wrestling person, so he still has the old school mentality of the foreign menace.
That's true.
And that's where Jinder failed this year.
Yeah.
It's because it's 2017. It's India is not this far off place where oh my god, he's an Indian person from Canada. We must hate him. America for the win. And I think they tried to do it with Rusev as well when it was Bulgaria versus America.
Do not get me started on that fucking flag match!
It's this doesn't work anymore. No.
It's not like the 80s where it was the whole capitalism versus communism thing.
Yeah, no, it's not
Fucking
that
India going around spreading communism across the West.
Yeah, it's
They're gonna bring in a Cuban wrestler so they can keep doing that storyline.
Lol.
Launching missiles.
It's launching something out of that nipple.
Jeez.
By the time this has come out in 2018,
Jinder will have been released.
do yourself a favour and just look back at Jinder's nipple during the Clash of Champions match. Because there's something going on there and it's not a clean diet and exercise.
As Ryback said, it's more than just protein shakes.
Ding ding. Okay, is that all we've got to say on international talent?
Yeah,
lads?
thank you for the heartwarming and healthy discussion.
Yeah, that was good.
Warmed my cockles,
Don't
that
think
conversation.
Anyone raised their voice in that one?
No, not
You
at all.
did over the flag match.
I did over the flag match because I'm fucking flag. Moving on. Candy, let's go to you.
Well, mine was originally going to be a short one based on something you asked me at SummerSlam, which was who's better, AJ or Kenny Omega.
Right.
And I thought, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say, if you started a wrestling business and you had the choice of any one person in the entire world to be the face of your company, who do you go with?
Chris Jericho.
Ooh, really?
He can get anything over, including any shit that I put out.
You're like, Jericho, we need to get her over this carpet.
He's like, easy. I know what I'm doing. I'm wearing it around my neck.
Well, just highlight reel, get it on the floor. Did you see they released WWE scarves and Jericho didn't get one?
What?
Like, it really pissed him off.
I bet.
That's a joke.
It's like, that's like
That's an insult.
like the stupidest marketing decision ever. You do scarves and you don't make a Jericho scarf.
I think I would probably choose Jericho.
But he's a bit old now.
He is a bit old now. If I was going to go with someone young, probably Balor.
Ooh,
'Cause
yes.
He's probably the most marketable
Yeah,
in the world right now, I would say.
I like Balor.
Kids go crazy for the face paint, man, and all the arm sleeves and the Demon King stuff.
Yeah,
If you want to sell merch and keep your company going, Balor will do it for you.
Pete?
Very good choice.
New Day?
Oh! Signing free at once.
I like that. Because
Yeah.
they come as one, don't they?
Yeah, they
work for
do.
the brand split.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And think
That's
about all the
very
shit
true.
they sell.
That's
You
true.
see it about all over the place.
It's very entertaining as well.
So I'm trying to come up with someone different as well, but I would also go for Balor.
Mm.
I would. It's just, for me, I think he's a phenomenal wrestler. He's young. Youngish,
Well, he's youngish.
but he
He's
can still
36.
sell.
You probably get a few more years from
You
him.
get a few more, but like, you know how people say AJ Styles is old
Yeah.
for a wrestler? He's only 4 years
Yeah,
older
he's only
than Balor.
40.
He's only 4 years older than Balor.
Blimey.
Like, Balor's getting on.
AJ's not stopping anytime soon.
No,
That's
it's
true.
not.
And neither,
So you-
neither's Finn.
Mind you, well, what age did Shawn Michaels retire at?
I don't know, I haven't asked him.
Next time you see him,
Yeah?
give him my regards.
If you want, I'll call him.
If you've got Shawn Michaels' fucking phone number now.
Just phone anyone, like, pretend you're Shawn Michaels.
Stupid. Who would you have?
I don't know. Shawn would have been, when did he retire? 2010?
Yep.
He would have been, oh, bloody hell, my maths is a bit shit. 45.
Okay. So
That's
AJ's...
his second retirement. So as
So-
long as
Yeah.
as long
yeah.
as Finn doesn't come down with a chronic back injury.
Yeah, I was thinking of AJ. AJ's got, what, 3 years till he's... 4 years till he's off that. If he's 40.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
he's
for-
4
Yeah,
years
he said he's
off that.
40, so 5 more years. Yeah, because I did originally think AJ, and I thought, yeah, he is 40. How many more? But yeah, you've probably got 5 more years out of him.
I reckon he'll go longer than Shawn, to be honest.
Yeah. He's
Oh yeah,
he's not taken as many risks in his... Well, I mean, he didn't have the back injury for one. He's not had as many big injuries, let's put it
That's
that
true.
way.
He's not very injury prone, AJ.
No.
And you can
It's
tell
because
he
he's
loves
fucking
it.
boss.
He's a machine.
he's a safe worker,
Yeah, absolutely.
which is a compliment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Kenny Omega just to make an argument for him, but like, because because you said it was AJ or Kenny, and I thought, oh, they're both pretty good, and then I think I looked and Kenny's like 5 years younger. I think he's about the same age as Balor. It's like, but he still has that worldwide following, and it's slowly growing and growing.
Yeah.
So if you start a company with him, put him as your main guy, you've got the interest from the American fans, but you've also got a bit more global. Well, more globally, Japan. You're not gonna suddenly take all these people from Japan. Like, yes, look at my startup promotion because you've got Kenny Omega. But you can bring some kind of interest, and I mean, you're talking about marketing with New Day and Balor.
Yeah.
Like, suppose if he brings a Bullet Club t-shirts, he can probably sell a few of them.
Jesus, yeah.
That's true.
But he's probably got a good brain for the business, and he can probably just sell anything similar to Jericho. Probably not at a similar level. But if you give him anything, he can probably make you a couple grand off that.
Pretty much, yeah, that's all you need. Yeah, fair play. Good question. That's pretty good. Pete, final one, because the other two didn't bother to send us anything.
Well, I've got like a substitute one for Alex as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear Alex's.
Alex's. So Alex has asked me to basically just come up with one.
Okay.
And I'm going to take this from a debate I saw on Facebook the other day. Intergender wrestling. Would you allow males and females to wrestle each other?
I was talking about this with a friend the other day.
Was this based off the Matt Fox thing you saw? Because that's...
No, it was based off a different
Shout out
thing.
to Mr. Fantastic himself. Yeah, he basically thinks that if we're making the illusion that pro wrestling is like a commissioned sport,
Yeah.
would you realistically allow men and women to compete with each other?
No.
Because you don't see it in any other sport. But obviously in this day and age where we're the most progressive we've ever been, and obviously we know that women are equal to men and basically can do whatever they want. So, what do you do? What's your opinions on that situation? Would you think it's okay to have men versus women? And bear in mind for a PG audience especially as well, and
That's
the
where the
impact
issue
it
comes
has on men.
I still say no, because purely from a legitimate standpoint, a fella sucks a woman purely from the even within the confines of a professional wrestling ring, he's still got it's like 50 pounds on her.
Depends who you're putting in the ring, though.
It's true. You put James Ellsworth against Nia Jax.
Yeah. You're not expecting James Ellsworth to win because he's a man.
In that sense, no, you're not. But in that sense, but if you're talking about like legitimately putting, so because that wouldn't happen every week, obviously, would it? It's like
No.
So if you're putting, let's pick two people who are relatively similar. Let's pick
Charlotte and Balor.
Yeah, Charlotte and Finn Balor.
I was also thinking Charlotte and Balor.
All right, well let's pick Charlotte and Finn Balor.
Okay.
Like
That's mad.
yeah, Charlotte could go in the ring, but Finn's still way stronger.
That's not necessarily true.
Have
you seen Charlotte Flair?
It's probably have you seen
Yeah,
Finn?
have you seen Balor?
You've seen
He's
Balor.
jacked to the
Just because
bone.
he's tiny doesn't mean he can't lift, mate.
The same with Charlotte. Just because she's a woman doesn't mean she.
No,
can't
I'm not
lift
saying
it.
that at all. Genetically, men are stronger than women.
For the most part.
Genetically.
It doesn't mean every man you see is going to be stronger
No,
than every woman you see.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's like it's somewhat like it's even like okay. What happened at the one of the last to plug Matt Fox? I'm going to plug Infinite. At one of the last Infinite shows, CJ Banks came out and went after one of the wrestler, Kieran, who I don't think has been in a proper wrestling ring in a wrestler's capacity for a good number of years. Mm-hmm. He's mostly in a GM role. Mm-hmm. Comes out and tries to and pulls CJ off him. Mm-hmm. Kieran is 6'2" to that extent, 6'1" maybe. CJ Banks is about 5'9", 5'10". Height different, and even that, like CJ, I'm not gonna lie, strong guy, jacked to all Kingdom Come. Kieran's still a big guy, right? So to make it believable, Kieran whacked him with, gave him a couple of punches, a little bit of an exchange, until CJ Banks, the wrestler of many more years, higher caliber, then took it to Kieran, who was a GM and didn't wrestle all that often. All that. It's purely because of the size difference to make that believable. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's professional wrestling. Yes, there is a way to make it believable. If you had like Asuka go in there against somebody, did she go in there and probably whack him around for a bit, but then, well, I mean, it would obviously depend on who it was. But that's the nature of pro wrestling. It does depend on who it is. Mm-hmm. But for the majority of the time, I would say, for the majority of the time, it depends on who it is. Bottom line, I guess.
But it does, at the end of the day.
For me, it works. It works as if the storyline calls for it.
Yeah. Not
as a sanctioned, as a division.
I don't see
on
why.
A whole.
I really don't see why they shouldn't. Because if you can believably put Finn Balor in the ring with Braun Strowman and say it's a legitimate contest, despite the fact Braun Strowman is over a foot taller than Finn Balor, I'm pretty sure, or more or less a foot taller than him, and has over 100 pounds in weight difference. It's like Finn's like 190, something like that.
Yeah.
Braun's like about 350. And you can call that a legit contest.
I guess you could.
Why can you not put Charlotte Flair against Finn Balor? Why can't you put Becky Lynch with AJ Styles? Why can't you do that?
I guess it's breaking it down, isn't
The
it?
only reason that there's this prejudice against it and saying you can't do it is because this age-old thing of men don't go against women in sport. But then you remember, wrestling isn't solely a sport. There is the entertainment element to it, which if you're looking at it solely from a WWE perspective, they're fully acknowledging now. And they're saying this is entertainment. They even teased it with Becky v. James Ellsworth a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. I think it also comes down to how women's wrestling has been perceived in the past, and it's now not that. The women have shown that they can put on better matches than the guys. but for me, it's still. I don't know. There's just something. For me, it is just purely storyline based. I can't see. I don't know why. I just can't see a full promotion devoted to involving everyone.
Well, that's not
To
what you're
having
saying.
everyone against everyone. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To having like
But I'm the same as you. I wouldn't
to
want it
having
week.
every type of matches. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't want it every week.
The thing is, like,
You know what I mean?
well, not WWE. Wrestling is it's not a sport, it's entertainment. And a lot of people don't find it entertaining watching a man punch or kick a woman in the face.
That too.
That's where it comes down to. It's like, I don't have a problem with it. I've seen one, like, mixed gender tag match. Like, and I was hoping that WWE would do it with this mixed gender tag thing they've got coming up. I've seen one mixed gender tag match where it's not, if the woman tags in, you have to go tag in the other woman. If the woman tags in and the man's still in the ring, then it's the man versus the woman.
Yeah.
And it was fine. It was a good match. So I was kind of hoping WWE might do something similar, but to have like a singles match, male versus female, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have exactly want to watch it, but I don't think you should rule it out completely altogether.
No,
I think
I
tag
wouldn't
matches
rule it out.
would be better.
I wouldn't rule it
Mixed
out.
tag thing.
I wouldn't rule it out completely. As I say, it's for me, it's purely storyline. If the storyline fits it, and I can buy into the fact that this would actually be a viable contest, it's not going to be like you say, Braun Strowman versus like Bailey type scenario. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's too like
Could potentially
like
Charlotte face AJ and win the WWE title? Would that ever happen?
The way Charlotte's been built on the main roster.
it looks
Absolutely.
likely. Why not?
Absolutely. If Asuka went up against Brock Lesnar tomorrow, statistically,
Yeah,
Asuka is
would.
better than Brock Lesnar.
She would win that.
Kayfabe wise.
True that.
So, I mean, it all comes down to whether you're looking at it from a realistic standpoint or a wrestling fan kayfabe standpoint.
I think there has to be some happy medium there.
There
I think
has to
that.
be.
Well, I mean, that's what professional wrestling is.
There's no happy medium at the
well,
end of the day because it's
it's-
such a touchy subject.
Yeah.
With that, yeah. But right on professional wrestling as a whole is a happy medium between entertainment and sport.
Very true. What would you say, Pete?
Yeah.
Again, I think it comes down solely to the individuals who are participating. But on Candy's point, I can't help but not envision a situation where like a man would dominate in a match, and I think an audience would get uncomfortable watching that, specifically a family-friendly audience.
Yeah.
And I think even when you try and push equality and the whole mixed gender situation, I feel like that's always going to be there, no matter
It
how
is a
much you
sticking
try
point.
and.
Yeah, it is.
Avoid
It
it.
doesn't. Yeah, because whether it's in the confines of. This is what I mean with it being storyline wise. If you build it up that these two hate each other, actually, one mixed gender match that I have seen that was really good. It was in ECW, and it was Bueller McGillicuddy, who doesn't wrestle at all, versus Bill Alfonso. So they both weigh about the same. Neither of them were actually wrestlers. But Bill was a referee for years / manager, and Bueller was a manager.
Bill
valet.
Alfonso
With the whistle.
coach with,
With
the
the
whistle.
whistle, yeah. And that match was phenomenal. It was a hardcore match, which helps because you've got devices to help you tell the story and stuff. But it was still a great match, and I think both of them ended up. I think Bill Alfonso was bleeding.
Of course, it was ECW.
But yeah, it was that type of. But this is what I mean in that the storyline for that was weird. I'm not going to go into it, but yeah, if the storyline calls for it and it's viable, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
What's your second question?
So my own one was basically the internet. Do you think it's helped or ruined wrestling, specifically social media, and when it comes to kayfabe?
Did I or did I not do an entire section of this? My dissertation. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go, Titan.
you?
Here we go, killing again. I did.
I don't remember reading that bit.
There we go, killing again.
Here I go, killing again. Yeah, it was. I kind of. It was. I think it was very briefly. I don't think I did an entire section. It may have been a couple of paragraphs.
You lied then, Pete.
Still wrote about it.
You
I've still done research on
You
this.
let all the fans down.
I've still done research on this, and I've actually put this question. I can't
Your
remember any of the
dissertation
answers.
comes up so much. Have you just posted it on the blog yet?
Why haven't I done that? It's probably because it's shit.
Yeah, it's full of spelling mistakes and stuff.
Well, it's not anymore. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
No, I think it has and it hasn't. It's helped promotion hugely. it makes it so much more easier to know if there's a show in your area. On the other hand, it has helped. Well, it has allowed, proper word, fans to become more involved in the product, where they wouldn't have been even during the Attitude Era, most of them, and it's. It was a shit. Like, if it was handled better and there would have been a code and people had jumped on it earlier, maybe a lot more wouldn't have gone out. But even then, like, wrestling transcends so many different people. Eventually, I think it was bound to it would just take one person to think it come out. But saying that, and like, although saying that, you can go on YouTube and you can search many different videos, how to do this move, how to do this move, how to do this. Doesn't matter, you still need to go to a training school at the end of the day. If you want to become a pro wrestler, you need to go to a training school. Bottom line.
My take on internet and wrestling is more from people sat at home being armchair ring psychologists. And all of a sudden...
An armchair arm dragger.
Yeah.
I like
that.
Ooh, nice.
I like that.
I stole it from Christian.
That's fair.
But it's still a good term.
But
It is
yeah,
great
armchair
term.
arm draggers sitting there thinking, oh, yeah, it should have done that better, it should have done that better. At the end of the day, we're fans and we're entitled to our opinion. But when that becomes the general consensus online, and all of a sudden this is suddenly an expectation for people,
Yeah.
now wrestlers in businesses like WWE aren't trying to please the people pulling the strings anymore. They're also having to please the fans who have suddenly become a lot more vocal. And at the end of the day, they're going out there to entertain in the first place. But in bygone eras, there wasn't this sudden wave of expectation from the internet to say, you should be doing this and this person's better than you. It was coming from people like PWI. It was coming from those kind of publications. It was coming from commentators on wrestling. But it wasn't coming from the fans as much as it is now. And fans have become so much more vocal thanks to all the avenues they've got to publicise it. That it's becoming impossible for a lot of wrestlers, I imagine, to know who to listen to. Because there's so many conflicting opinions online, and it's so easy for them to get out there. You've got things like the Squared Circle community on Reddit. You've got forums completely devoted to it. You've got pages on Facebook for it, groups on Facebook for it. Constant hashtags every show. Wrestling now has become more about branding thanks to the internet, more than the product they're putting out.
Yeah.
How many times can you count Michael Cole plugging a product instead of calling a match?
Yeah.
That didn't happen before the internet had as big an influence as it does now. At the same time, it's given us things like Taboo Tuesday, Cyber Sunday, this Facebook watch thing they're doing, the mixed tag matches and all that, the WWE Network.
Yeah.
It's given us a lot of good, but at the same time, the bottom line for me is it's given us a lot of good in that sense, but at the same time,
It's opened all that up as well.
it's opened the doors for lots of criticism and lots of negativity, and it's impossible to be surprised by wrestling anymore.
Yeah. There was something, I think it was Adam Blompier on an old What Culture Wrestling video. It was one of his pipe bombs, and he said somewhere along the line, wrestling has gone from being about the entertainment side of things to being much more about the athletic and sportsman side of things. So there's been some sort of transition just after the Attitude Era where everyone was like, were how good of a wrestler was. And to be fair, you can kind of point the finger where it started at the cruiserweights in WCW. That was like, because everyone was watching that like, oh my god, this is really good. You can blame it on that, and you can blame it on the oversaturation of the NWO. You can just blame WCW in general.
Yeah,
The-
WCW backstage.
If I think because there was so much on the stories in every single match in WCW, I think WWE kind of balanced it right. But I think with WCW, because there was that much put on their main events and the storylines and the NWO and the NWO running into every match and what I'm saying, but they weren't asked about the cruiserweights, so the cruiserweights were free to have a match without whatever, and it's because those matches were uninterrupted that they were as good as they were. Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio on, I can't remember what episode of Nitro it is, but oh my god, what a match.
They had a match at Halloween Havoc as well.
And that one too. Oh my word! It might be that one that I'm thinking of.
Could be.
But you know what I mean.
I've seen that match.
It's like I think that could be potentially where that it's gone wrong. Not like Halloween Havoc in general.
Yeah.
But that specific moment in time.
That thing.
But I think it's because of that's then the more those who could tell better stories through wrestling have then climbed up the bossing. Which may I point out that the British were doing all along. That was the entire British scene.
To go back to your question though, has it helped or has it made it worse? For my enjoyment, it's helped it massively, and that's the bottom line for me in terms of talking about it and watching it.
Without the internet, I would not be a wrestling fan.
Same.
Because I would not have been able to have looked into any WWE stuff.
For me,
of my era, I like those who were a couple of years older than us who've been watching it even before the internet was a thing. Like, that's I would imagine that would sound quite alien to them because I'm saying for us it's
it was our way in.
Absolutely.
We've talked a lot though. Candy, what do you think?
No, for the social media thing, I'd say it's good for promotion and particularly self-promotion. A lot of wrestlers have managed to get themselves over through social media. Zack Ryder's a
prime example. Yeah.
Also, I know we talked about him a lot, but do you know how Kenny Omega got to Japan? He saw matches. He was of Kota Ibushi in DDT promotion, and basically in DDT they were just wrestling like in the middle of lakes, in supermarkets, on like subway cars. And Kenny Omega was like, I want to go work Kota Ibushi in Japan. So we started doing the same matches in Canada and just put it on YouTube. And he started calling out Kota Ibushi on YouTube, and eventually the promoters had to like take notice of it and booked him.
Amazing.
And they ended up having like a fucking ridiculous match. Like rather than just have this one match, they were like, do you want to come work for us, and offered him a contract. So Kenny Omega got to Japan through YouTube and social media and things like that. The internet can do that for wrestlers. In terms of kayfabe, though, it's pretty much eliminated the small remaining part of that. Because like you've got wrestlers who are like in blood feuds, but then on Twitter, there's like sending gifs back and forth, like "Happy birthday, pal." Could you imagine if Rock and Austin were on Twitter in 2000 and like chilling with my good mate The Rock when
I absolutely hate it when people do that.
Or if Austin was putting pictures of him and Vince like chilling in the office.
Yeah. It's true.
So in terms of that way, like the whole point of wrestling is like there's very little stuff like to grab onto now, and I think with social media and the death of kayfabe, that's getting so much smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
So the storylines are just the
thing also
stuff,
on the independent circuit, I see it a lot in the British stuff. I would find it so hard as a British wrestling fan to just be invested in the storyline that was going on at my local promotion. Because if you're following someone on their social media, they're not just plugging that one show. They're not just one character on that one show. They're being a different character on every single like place that they go. Well, I say a different character. You know what I mean? Like in some places they'd be a face, in some places they'd be a heel.
Alex is a great example of that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
To be a champion in two different promotions, one as a face and one as a heel.
Exactly. And so it's weird keeping up that. But in some weird way, everyone's just kind of turned a blind eye to it in the strangest way.
I mean, if you want to look at it from a perspective of being there and done it as well, in our own special way.
Yeah.
We were all in CTW.
Yeah.
We all had several gimmicks each, which you can hear in an earlier podcast.
You can, episode 19! Go and have a laugh, honestly.
We all
Fuck it, I'm going to put it in the link. Go watch it.
We all had different gimmicks, and we were playing them as faces and heels, and we were doing it slightly differently with each one. And that's the challenge that you must have as an independent wrestler. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I've done it. We haven't. I'm saying we've had a glimpse into it.
Yeah.
Someone like yourself, Pete, who has been there and is currently doing it, would know a lot more than we do.
How hard would it be? I'll pose that question to you. How hard would you find it if a promoter turned around to you and says, "Look, I love you in the ring. It's really good. I'm not a fan of your gimmick. I want to give you this gimmick. I wouldn't say exactly what it is, but it's a face gimmick."
Okay.
How hard would you find it to go in between the two?
It'd be, it's not a problem really going between the two. establishing myself as that new face gimmick would be difficult, having been used to playing.
Yeah,
these
I mean,
other
on social media, I mean, like promoting the two different gimmicks.
Yeah, that'd be actually difficult doing it on social media
to remain.
because. Well, to a casual fan, you might just look like you're schizophrenic.
Yeah.
I mean,
So you'd have to make 2 accounts for
This-
it. Have
this-
3
well,
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. She's not here, but I'll put her over. Alex on like Twitter. I don't know about Twitter, but Instagram. She has 2 separate accounts. One for wrestling stuff and one for everything else. And I think that's the correct way to do it.
I would agree.
Keep all your wrestling stuff with your wrestling stuff
I
and
agree.
everything else. If you want to put
Oh,
pictures
yeah.
of your cat in your own time, that's fine.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Or pictures of your dog.
There's
That's
there's
it.
Yeah, I
far
think that's
too
the
many.
Instead of promoting a show.
That's the right way to go
Whatever
about
you want
it.
to do.
There's
Yeah.
far too many wrestlers, I think, that have got that like didn't set up a Facebook page and have all their fans go. I know a couple that have. I'm not going to name drop anyone, but I know far too many that have got fans on their own Facebook, and it's like, and you're posting pictures very, things that should be very private about your
Yeah.
family. Say very private, but things that should be just for close family and friends, and that's inviting total strangers into your, fair enough, you have connections with the fans, whatever, but like, you are still inviting total strangers.
Because if you're doing that,
Yeah.
you also can't really complain if they're following you everywhere and you get obsessed fans. Because that's how that road starts. When you start inviting them into your personal life and giving too much information away, that's when people start checking you. I don't know if you've seen this advert floating around from one of the banks. Someone
Barclays.
Going,
Yeah, I've
going
seen
on
it.
social media accounts, taking note of addresses you go to, places you go, people you see, and tracking you down. Because it can happen.
True.
And it's a really scary thought, but it's what happens
Yeah.
if you fail to separate those two lives from
Those
each
two
other.
things. I think that's like, I mean, we're a bit far in now, and I think it would take years to actually, like, someone to just go, right, everyone stop fucking posting on Instagram as your character. Rusev, stop putting pictures of you and Lana in bed on your fucking wrestling Instagram. Do it on your personal one!
Let's not
And
put
Snapchat me it next time! God's sake!
let's not put everyone in Luke Harper fan club t-shirts on Instagram.
Yeah, not a great idea.
yeah.
So I think social media it's bad and it's good. There's been pros, there's been cons, but that's like it to everything, really, isn't there?
Absolutely.
It's a nice way to end, I guess. Not really, but there's pros and
There's
cons
pros
to
and
everything.
cons. I mean, that's a good conclusion.
We've
weighed
always
up the
look
arguments.
on the bright side of life.
Yeah, we've weighed up the arguments and we've got no clue.
We've given you some opinions. Hopefully, some of you guys can think over that.
And why don't you give us your opinions?
Absolutely, we want to hear your opinions. Give us your answers to all of our questions that we've had. We'll post them. I'll post each one separately in the description.
Aye.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Add us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. That's a thing.
It is a thing. There's not much on there.
no,
but
there's
if
not.
you follow us more, we'll post more.
Absolutely.
How about
It's very much a give and take relationship that we're going to have with you, our one listener. So, Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. We wish you all the best for 2018. Let's have an amazing year. Let's hope that all the wrestling stuff that happens this year is all
Is this
good.
January 5th? This is coming out.
Yes, it
Let's fingers crossed on card is still champion.
that. Okay. See you soon, guys. Have a good one. See you. Bye.
that?
See ya. Oh, I didn't say bye. I said see ya. Bollocks. Can we do that one again?
Fuck you.